Él es mi compañero. Por favor, se lo...
Hello and welcome to an in-depth Breaking Bad theory. This theory is discussing the possibility that Hector Salamanca was not killed by the explosion in the nursing home. We first meet Hector in Season 2, Episode 2, Minute 15, Second 11, watching a black and white film alongside Heisenberg and Jesse Pinkman. This film is called El Mago and directly translates to The Magician. It is a Mexican comedy released in 1949 that follows the story of a lookalike that takes the place of a magician who has gone on holiday. El Mago, playing in this scene, is a direct reference to El Camino, where we see Todd being played by a plus-size lookalike.
On the way home, I was gonna get us some pizza. A couple large pizza. Maybe a 6-pack of pizza. Some ice-cold pizza. Pepperoni.
We learn a lot about Hector in his first scene. Number 1. He appears to have some sort of disability which severely restricts his movement and completely removes his ability to speak. This disability was said to have been caused by a stroke early in Breaking Bad, but we later find out in Better Call Saul it was actually caused by someone. Number 2. He is in a wheelchair. We can find evidence Hector is in a wheelchair by looking at these images. Number 3. Hector is Tuco's uncle, as we hear Tuco refer to him as such in Spanish.
What are you telling me, Tio? Huh? Are they punking me?
And lastly, number 4. Hector is mostly elderly. We can support this claim by looking at his hair color. As most people age, their natural hair color will fade into a light white, silver, or dark grayish tone. This tells us that Hector is at least above the age of 30. We can also prove Hector's elderly due to himself involuntarily defecating in a DEA interrogation room. Very undeserving circumstances Hector has to endure. Now, before discussing how Heisenberg conspired with Hector Salamanca to lure Gus Fring into the nursing home Hector resides in and agreed to equip his wheelchair with a bomb to blow up Gus Fring and Hector himself, please pause the video here and go watch the entirety of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul within the next hour to learn how the story led up to that point as to not receive any more spoilers. Now that you're back, or probably never left, let's review the clip of Hector blowing up Gus Fring, Gus's body double, and himself to see how Hector may have survived the explosion.
Last chance to look at me, Hector.
If we pause on this frame, we can see a leg, but we're going to ignore that. Now, if you look closely at Hector's wheelchair, you'll see it's quite intact, despite the explosion of an IED directly underneath it. Wouldn't you think a bomb of this nature, engineered by Heisenberg, would blow up the chair to smithereens? Here's what happened. Heisenberg knew Gus would be sitting in front of the chair, so he reinforced the bottom of the wheelchair so the blast, for the most part, would go towards Gus instead of Hector, as Gus was the main target after all. Now, the bomb was obviously strong enough to blow half of Gus's face off, leave no trace of Gus's body double. So where did Hector go? It's actually very simple. When the bomb finally went off after 40/16, it let off an explosion backwards and forwards. The backwards explosion blew out the window behind Hector. Then the forward explosion caused Hector's legs to fling behind him like a gymnast, giving him the perfect backward and upward momentum for him to fly out the back of the window. Being that Hector's basically a vegetable, him being limp throughout the entire ordeal would give him better odds of surviving the explosion and the impact of where he landed. With the explosion and the impact of landing, if either didn't kill Hector, there's a good chance this traumatic event could have given back his ability to walk and speak. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see Hector once again walking and talking in a future Breaking Bad installment.